Students, today I'll teach you one new story, The Selfish Giant. Okay, so this is the first slide of the story. This is a long story. Go through, very interesting. Every afternoon, as they are coming from the school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. There is a garden in the giant, so all the children used to go and play there in the every evening. But the selfish giant, he did not like it. He was not present there. So when the children are coming and when they are playing, he did not know that. All of a sudden, the giant came back. So one day, the giant came back. One day, the giant came back. He had been in visit to his friend on Cornish ogre. Ogre is also giant, monster, and had stayed with him for 7 years. So for 7 years he was not present here. By the time the beautiful garden was there, so all the school children every afternoon they used to go and play. But when he has come back, he did not like it, so he will stop the children to play. So what happened? See here how the giant is very angry. Okay. So what he said? My own garden is my own garden, said the giant. Anyone can understand that. And I'll allow nobody to play in the garden but myself. So he was very selfish. He did not like the children to play there. So he said, it is my garden, only I'll play. So he built a high wall all around it and put a notice board. So he has just built a wall. And what notice board he has made it? What is the notice board? Trespassers will be prosecuted. Means without permission, if anybody enters, he will be taken into court. He will be taken into the custody of law. He was very selfish giant. The poor children now had nowhere to play. They cannot play now. So they are playing here on the road sometimes and here and there, but they cannot enter. Now the children are thinking how happy we were there. Earlier we were very happy. So they are feeling very sad now because they cannot play inside the garden. Now springtime, by the time springtime has come, the spring came, all over the country there are little blossoms with little birds. Lot of birds are chirping, lot of flowers are coming all over. Only in the garden of the selfish giant at that time, still winter. In foreign country, winter is actually lifelessness. Very cold, freezed, and flowers do not bloom. Everywhere it is dead. So winter continues. Spring is available, season has been changed and spring is there in everywhere. Lot of flowers are there, lot of birds are flying and chirping, they are singing. But in the garden of the selfish giant, it is still winter. Why? Because the nature was very angry. Nature did not like the way selfish giant was doing. Nature did not like the children to be stopped and come playing here. So that's why nature has taken revenge. Understood? Now, the trees forget to blossom. In the garden of the selfish giant, trees are not blooming. Once the beautiful flower put up its heads from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry that the children, it slipped back again in the ground again. So all of a sudden, see, this is the beauty of Oscar Wilde. He describes the small birds or trees or animated life and grasses in such a way as if they are life. They are talking like the human being. This is the beauty of the story of Oscar Wilde. He makes everything live and very interesting. So one small flower, it wanted to bloom. It has taken birth from the grass. But all of a sudden, the flower has seen the notice board. What is the notice board? Children cannot enter. Trespassers will be persecuted. So the moment it has seen it, again it has gone inside the grass and started sleeping. Who started sleeping? The small flower. Understood? The only people who are pleased are the snow and the frost. Spring has forgotten this garden, they cried. Who? Snow and frost. They are the company of winter time, so they are very happy. We will continue to be here, snow will continue to be here, frost will continue to be here. Again we see snow and frost. They are also being treated like human beings, isn't it? So they are very happy. The snow covered the grass with her white cloak. Cloak means the dress. With the white dress, it is covered. And the frost what is done? Painted all the trees silver. It is also covered with the ice. They invited the north wind to stay with them. North wind, the cold wind. So cold wind has come. Okay. And he came, he was wrapped with the furs. What is the dress of the cold wind? Fur. Okay. He is also cold. It is a delightful spot. Very happy there. Okay. He wrapped his furs and rode all day over the garden. When the north wind will come, it is making a lot of sound. So he is roaring like a human being. Okay. So these are all human sentiments he has given to the natures. Who? The writer Oscar Wilde. So it is roaring. Who is roaring? North wind. Who is a company of them? Frost and the snow. So they all are happy. We must ask hail to visit. Again they are calling one more friend, hailstorm. Hailstorm is the small pieces of snow, it falls down in the circle. Sometimes you start picking up and eating and playing with them. So hailstorm, when it comes, it makes a lot of distraction. Distractions to the paddy, distraction to the trees, leaves, lot of fruits fall down. So it starts falling down. So who has come again along with them? Hailstorm. So the hail came every day for 3 hours. He rattled on the roof of the castle till broke most of the slates. So he is rattling down. He is making sound. When it falls down on the roof, it makes cracking sound. And it is breaking a lot of slates. Then he ran around and round the garden as fast as he could. He was dressed in grey. What is the color of the dress of hailstorm? Grey. What is the color of what is the dress of the north wind? Fur. Okay. So these are the dress code also the writer has described. I cannot understand why the spring is so late coming. The giant is very surprised. Everywhere there is flowers. Everywhere the birds are flying and chirping and singing. But in my garden, why it is not happening? Why spring is not coming? He is says to himself. As he sat at the window and looked at the cold grey garden, white garden, I hope there will be a change in the winter. He is expecting now spring will come. But spring is not coming. It never came. After spring, what season comes? Summer. Summer also did not come. The autumn, it also forgetting, it is also not coming. But to the giant's garden, it gave none. So all the seasons are coming one by one. But in the giant's garden, what is the season? Only season is winter. No flower, no fruit, no birds, like this. And why it is happening? Because nature has taken revenge. The selfish giant did not allow the children to play. That's why nature is also not giving the changes in the garden. One morning the giant was lying awake in the bed when he heard some lovely music. All of a sudden he started. He could hear the music sound. It sounded so sweet his ears that he thought it must be the king's musician passing by. When the king passes, musician also follows. So beautiful music was played. So he was very surprised. Is the king is passing by? But it was really only a little linnet. What is the linnet? Linnet is actually singing bird. It is singing. So he was very happy to hear the sound of small little linnet birds. But how all of a sudden the linnet bird has come? No birds are coming. Why linnet has come? I hope there will be what happened here? But it was so long since he heard a bird singing in his garden that it seems to him the most beautiful music in the world. Linnet bird song is actually not so beautiful, but for a long time he did not hear any song of the birds. So it appears to him that it was the most beautiful song, most beautiful sound. Then the so when the linnet bird started singing, what happened? Then the hail stopped dancing over the head. Earlier it was dancing, it was rattling. Now they stopped. The north wind ceased roaring. North wind is also not making noise. Okay, earlier it was making roaring sound. And the delicious perfume came to him through the open casement. Casement means window. Through the window, beautiful smell, beautiful odor perfume came. All these things have been all of a sudden changed. I believe the spring has come at last, said the giant. And he jumped out of the brake and looked out. He started saying, it has come or not. Because these changes, all of a sudden he could find the changes. But what he has seen? He saw a most beautiful sight. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had made one small hole in the wall. He built a wall and children had made a small hole in the wall. The children crept in and they were sitting in the branches of all the trees. In every tree that he could see that there was a little child, and the trees are so glad to have the children back again. They had covered themselves with the blossoms. Earlier, there were no blossoms, no flowers are there. Now see, the children are playing again. How they have entered? They have entered through a small hole in the wall they have created. So wherever they are sitting on the branches of the trees are so happy the children have come back. They started blooming. They started giving the flowers. And because of these flowers only, he could get the smell of the beautiful perfume. Understood? And because the children came back and birds started also singing. Those linnet birds song he could hear from here. Understood? So, the birds are flying about and the twittering with the delight. Delight means the happy. They are very happy. Who is happy? The birds. Everywhere nature is also happy. The flowers are looking up through the green grass and laughing. Flowers are laughing. See again, it is like the human being, how he is treated. It was lovely scene. He was very happy because for a long, long time he has not seen any flowers. He has not seen any birds. He has not seen any music of the birds. So he was very happy that spring has come and again it has come to the previous condition. But what happened? Only in the one corner it was still winter. In the whole garden it was not springtime. Only one corner of the garden still it was winter. Why? It was the furthest corner of the garden. In it was standing a little boy. One small boy was here. This is the boy. Can you see? He was standing there. He did not climb on the branches of the tree. Why? Why he could not? He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree. All the children are sitting on the branches of the tree, but this boy could not. Why? Because he was very small. And since he could not climb on the branch of the tree was also not blooming. It is also not giving flowers. Birds are also not there. Nothing, nobody is chirping, no birds are chirping. So that's why in this corner still it is winter. The entire garden is having the spring. Scenery is different, but in this corner it is different. That's because the children was very small. He could not climb on the branch of the tree. He was standing under the tree. That's why the condition of the garden in the furthest corner is still winter. Understood? He was wandering all around and crying bitterly. The child was crying because he could not climb. The poor tree was still covered with the frost and the snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring about. Climb up, little boy, said the tree. The tree is telling, climb up, come here, so that I can also have spring. You can see, tree is speaking. And it bent its branches down as much low as it could. The tree is bending and the branch is coming down as much it is possible. But still the child could not climb on the tree because he was too tiny, very small he was, tiny means small. And the giant heart melted as he looked out. All of a sudden, selfish giant became very pleasant man, kind-hearted man, by seeing the small children, how the small boy was standing under the tree, he could not climb. Even the tree was trying to bend its branches, but still he was not able to climb on the branch. He was crying, and the giant felt very unhappy and sad. This is the first time there came some changes in the heart of the selfish giant. He is no more selfies. So what he has done, you see, and the giants had melted, and he looked out. How selfish I have been. Now he realized I was very selfish. Now I can understand why my garden is still winter, why the spring has not come, because I stopped the children to play. He understood that. Now I know why the spring could not come, and I'll put the poor little boy on the top of the tree, and then I'll knock down the wall, I'll break the wall, so that all children can come very easily, not through the hole. And my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever. It is not my garden, it is the garden of the children. They will be playing throughout their life, always. He was really very sorry for the things he had done earlier. So he crept downwards from the room he has come. Okay, come down and opened the front door from quite softly. Why he is doing very softly? Because so that children cannot see him and children cannot run away by seeing him. Children feel very afraid, but the selfish giant has been already changed and went down into the garden. But the children saw him. They all so frightened that they all ran away. After seeing the giant, the children ran away because they know the giant is very selfish. So that's why they ran away. And the garden became winter again. Again from the spring, it had changed to winter. Only the little boy did not run. He did not see. He was so small, he was crying. But his eyes were full of tears and he did not see the giant coming. He could not see the giant is coming because he was crying. His eyes are full. So he was standing there. He did not run. And the giant stole behind him and took him gently on his arms. You can see he took the small child on his arm. And the giant put him up to the tree. And the tree broke at once into blossom. The moment he put the small child on the branches of the tree again started giving a lot of flowers. Again condition changed, but in the rest part of the garden, it became again winter because all the children ran away. So when this boy was not on the branch of the tree, that time only here it was winter. In rest of the places were spring. But when the children ran away, there became winter. And when the giant put the small boy on the branch, it became again spring because on the top of the branch the boy was sitting. The tree was having lot of flowers. It started blooming. So today only this much. Have you understood? Okay, this is a very interesting story. So only this much you try to understand. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, and rest of the stories I'll teach you next day. Okay.